What do I know for sure? I think, as I touched on before, uh, I have a very deep sense that everybody is doing their best. And that has not always been something that's easy to believe, especially moving back home and initially in the pandemic being five adults in a household that was made for two adults and three kids. It was sometimes button heads. And during this pandemic, now working on this COVID-19 campaign and talking to so many people who think that vaccines have microchips or that there's this big agenda against them and that this is unsafe has been really hard sometimes to maintain the perspective that everybody is trying their best. But what I've realized is how many people are really sacrificing so much during this pandemic just to survive. And so it's helped me have so much more empathy. And I just have seen so many people who, once you get to know their story, you see that they are absolutely doing their best and absolutely trying their best, even if that means that, yeah, even if it means totally different things for everyone. That's just been a story that even my dad has emphasized as well this year, because he works in an emergency room. He's the site lead at Sheldon Schumer. And they see a lot of people with addiction issues in a normal year. But in the population dealing with homelessness during the pandemic, the restriction on travel, specifically between borders and things, has resulted in a dramatic shift in how drugs are transported. And there's been way more fentanyl overdoses, and fentanyl slipped into drugs that people aren't expecting. And so they've seen way more overdoses. They've seen a significant increase in addiction. So he's really been seeing the impact of that. And I've seen him come home in tears just because it's so hard to see people who are trying so hard to just survive. And then they've got this substance that's just almost like attacking their humanity, it seems. So yeah, it's been wild.
Is there any like one last thing you'd kind of like to say?
Um, the one thing I would say is get vaccinated the second you can. Once your name is called or your age group is available, go and get poked in the arm, because any risk associated with vaccine is significantly lower than the risk associated with getting COVID. So I think that's what I'll leave us with today is go get vaccinated if you can, because that's how we end this pandemic and we're in this together.